voice, Charles Harris, here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Jeremy Smokin.
All right, and welcome to Kneecap Biting with Smoking Jeremy V's AFC North review. I do have a Ravens fan that's on his way home from work and running a couple minutes late that's going to join us. But other than that, I have the Chicken Nugget King, Joseph Jones, and I have Jake Dilling from The Roar with Jake D. We're going to talk AFC North, go into the position rankings, window of wins for the team, the state of the team and the franchise for each one in that division, and then NFL news and rumors at the end where we get to talk a little Lions talk. That being said, Facebook here, hey uncle, that somehow likes the Lions. That's Bryson. How you doing, Bryson? I've loved the Lions my entire life. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to start with AFC North position group rankings. Grupo. Oh, man, I made that bad. Let me get that off there and edit that. Grupo. That's funny. Groucho.
It's kind of like Gauchos.
Yeah. And the comment says, good at the strip club. That being said, as far as the QBs are concerned and where I rank them, right now it's Joe Burrow, then Lamar Jackson, then whoever they decide to start with at the Steelers, and Jacoby Brissett. That's the order I got it in. So that would be Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, Browns. Nemo Crenshaw, what's up, buddy? Yes, this is the AFC North review.
What's up, Crenshaw?
He is a Ravens fan as well. Oh, Jake's back. Hey, Jake.
How's it going?
Oh, I'm pretty good. So, Joseph, where do you rank the QBs in the division for starters?
Man, I think Lamar Jackson is definitely number one. Okay, he's definitely number one. He's got feet, arm, the motor, the way to get out the pocket and do everything else, and he's definitely a good damn player. Joe Burrow, he been to the Super Bowl. He's done some electric things last year. He showcased why he can be one of the best in the league, but he has to, get the job done before he really says that he's the one and he's the man out of them all. He's definitely number two. Jacoby Brissett is like a water boy to me, so I don't think he's really a top 5 quarterback in this group at all by far. So I'll put him at 5. The number 4 in my
3.
opinion, yeah. Oh yeah.
Because there's only 4 teams. Can't have a number 5 in 4 teams.
I wish I could.
Right.
But yeah, I think Jacoby Brissett is 4 easily, hands down. Number 3. It's hard to tell because Steelers don't even have a QB that you could really put at 3. But I really would like to say that Mason Rudolph would be number 3 in my opinion, because I think Mason Rudolph needs a lot to work on. And he needs a lot to do, and he has to prove himself this year. Because I was thinking about putting Mitchell Trubisky there at 3, because Mitchell Trubisky did have a great time in Chicago. He just didn't have the offensive line that could protect him and put him in spots where he wanted to put it. But yeah, I definitely would say Mason Rudolph would be number 3.
Mason Rudolph isn't starting.
Yeah, you think Mason? Yeah,
it's either going to be Mitch Trubisky or Kenny Pickett. From what I'm hearing out of their camp,
from what I'm hearing from you guys, if Mitchell Trubisky does start this year, then I expect Mitchell Trubisky to go out there and light it up, because he has something to prove this year. He signed a prove it deal. Think about it. He signed a prove it deal.
Yep, Mitch is starting according to Nemo, and that's what I heard too. I heard it's Mitch or Pickett but Mason Rudolph is the QB3 at this point.
And Pickett just got there too. So yeah.
Right.
Pickett's a project.
See, Facebook user, did you do the Buccaneers division yet? I actually did that 4 weeks ago. Maybe 5. Nemo Crenshaw says Lamar MVP Jackson, Joe with the number 1 wide receiver core Burrow, Mitch, and Jacoby Brissett. Yeah, that's where I was at. And Nemo backed up what I said, that Mitch is starting.
Well, he got to prove himself this year, because if he don't, they're gonna try to sprinkle it up and then bring up Pickett and let Pickett start, because they're gonna think about that, especially if the first 4 games don't go right.
Now we're gonna get to Jake's version of the quarterback rooms. What do you think?
I gotta go Lamar Jackson, number 1 for right now. He's been in the league. He's been doing it a few years. He got that MVP a couple years back. Last year, man, they were just plagued with injuries, and he still had a decent season. I mean, he's got a good arm. Got to work on throwing outside the numbers a little bit, but got to go with him, number 1. Burrow, number 2, easy. I would have him at number 1, but I want to see if he can do it for another year. We've seen it all the time. Quarterbacks come out, have a huge year, and then right off the sunset, never to be heard from again. Not saying that'll happen with Burrow, but it's possible. They got Mitch Trubisky at number 3, which by the end of the season, he could easily move up a spot. I mean, I like Trubisky, and I thought he got a bad deal in Chicago. I mean, heck, he took that Matt Nagy offense and took him to the playoffs. So that says something right there.
Yeah, that Tecmo Bowl offense.
Yeah. And then he spent that year in Buffalo, working with working with Dabble and all, and their coaching staff, and he had to have gotten better. There's no way he hasn't gotten better in the last couple of years. And then he was in Pittsburgh last year too, wasn't he? Or no? No, this is his first year. No, this is his second year in Pittsburgh, isn't it?
This will be his first year in Pittsburgh.
First year in Pittsburgh. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Last year he was with Buffalo as the backup.
Right.
He came in one game when Allen, I don't know if it was because they were up big or whatever, but he didn't look bad when he came in.
Right. And you gotta have Brissett's got to be number 4. I mean, Cleveland's a freaking mess, man.
Well, the only thing they're not a mess at this next position group. And I gave mine, so this time I'm going to start with you, Jake. We're going to go over the running back rooms of the division. That's the one spot where I kind of like Cleveland's room.
Yeah. Oh, Cleveland, easy, hands down, number 1. Number 1, hands down. Healthy. The Ravens come in at number 2. Pittsburgh at 3. And Bengals at 4. And that's not a knock on any of them guys, really.
No, and I think it's kind of like 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason Cleveland's number 1 is because they got that 2-headed monster.
Yep. And Nemo Crenshaw comes in, says Browns, Ravens, Bengals, Steelers. He agrees.
I mean, and even Najee Harris, man, he's primed for to have a big year this year. I mean, the guy's a monster.
They need to shore up that O-line, which is why he didn't have as good of a season as he should have.
Yeah,
because he was looking great for a few games, and then the O-line just was letting people shut him down right at the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
I mean, but he did do good receiving out of the backfield on swing passes and screens too.
Yes, he did.
Which that was the knock on him, is that they didn't use him like that at Alabama. Nobody knew how he'd do receiving the ball.
Right.
Well, Najee Harris is a beast, man. I mean, think about it. No matter where he went, no matter where he's at, Alabama or Pittsburgh, he's still going to turn it up. They just got to build an offensive line around him, like you said.
They didn't do much to address that O-line this season.
No, they didn't. They haven't.
So that is why I'm kind of not as high on him, and I have them in the last as well. I agree. My order is exactly what Nemo Crenshaw said. Browns, Ravens, Bengals, Steelers. What do you think, Joe?
Me, I think the same. I think the same. Right now, I'm thinking the same, but I don't know until the season really hits. I could say on paper it's going to be Browns, Steelers, and Bengals. That's it. I could say that all I want. Even Ravens, I could put them in the mix in paper, but this season it's going to prove a lot more different than what I say on paper.
Now,
I mean, as it stands right now, that's where I have it until the games are played.
Yeah,
Lamar
Browns.
Jackson.
Browns are definitely going to be number one without question. But
Yeah.
if you
I
really want to look
oh,
down
sorry.
to it reality wise, it's okay. But if
Yeah.
you look into it reality wise, it's going to come down to the Bengals and Ravens.
Yep. And Nemo Crenshaw says Ravens got one of the deepest running back room in the league. Mike Davis is a 3, and Davis was a 1 for the Falcons. And that's because other than Carter Patterson, Falcons had nothing. I mean, let's be honest.
That had Pitts, and where there's one touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah. He's turned into the tight end version of Julio Jones. Allergic to the end zone.
Now, I know Lamar Jackson's not a running back, but as much they do design run plays for him. Can we if we include him in that running back room, does that boost the Ravens to number 1?
No, because he's a quarterback that runs. I mean, that's
Right.
a different animal. You know,
Yeah.
it adds to the rushing, of course.
Right.
I mean,
At the same time, you know, he's a quarterback.
but if you ask me, they would have to do some wildcat offense to see if they can get him the ball when he's on the outside. You know, let him play wide receiver a little if he's going to do if they're going to do a wildcat, because he can definitely fit in the wildcat for sure.
No, he could. The only problem
Run
with
that
that is
wildcat.
And Keegan Eckert says Browns, Ravens, Bengals, Pittsburgh. Yes, Browns, Ravens, and Bengals have 2 great backs that are power backs and third down backs. The Steelers don't have a second guy that can play either of those positions. And that was where I was at with it. And their O-line ain't that good. No, Lamar won't be no wide receiver. He's going to be the QB with runs. Yep, that's what I was getting at.
But I'm saying they can use him in the wildcat.
No, they're going to use him in the RPOs.
They could use him in the wildcat too.
Yeah, but they don't do that with him.
But
because
yeah,
look at what happened to him last season when he started running more. He started throwing more than running, and then when he did start running, he did get hurt again, or for the first time. And so they might not try to use him in that run game as much. I mean, they're still going to use him in the run game because he's too talented not to.
John, you have to include him. He's much of a threat.
Yep. And now we're going to go to the wide receiver rooms. And Chicken Nugget, take it away. Where do you rank them?
Man. Where do I begin? Steelers, they have a nice wide receiving group, but they're not better than the Bengals or the Browns at this point, because the Browns are going to get the ball offensively pretty well. Look at their wide receiving core. Their wide receiving core can spread the field if they want, game in, game out. Bengals, they have Jamar Chase. They do have tight ends and wideouts.
They got more than that. They got Jamar Chase. They got Tyler Boyd. They got T. Higgins. They've got the best wide receiver room as far as I'm concerned. You got Claypool in Washington, and then somebody else in Pittsburgh, and that doesn't even match up with that.
And Chase Claypool did say he was the best wide receiver. He did say that. He said that. He let that be known.
I think it's Bengals.
But he's not better than Jamar Chase.
I think it's Bengals, Browns, Ravens, Steelers, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would like to say Bengals anyway. Bengals are definitely going to look better. Boyd, Higbee, Chase.
And Higgins.
A lot different, a lot better. They just gotta build up on that offensive line too. They gotta help that out. I mean, I did think they addressed that in the offensive line. Offensive in the off season. I think they addressed that offensive line in the off season. I think they did that. So with Higgins, Boyd, and Chase, and Higbee, they're gonna do great. They're gonna do some great things this year.
Jake, what do you think?
Oh, it's easy. Bengals, Browns, Ravens, Steelers. I mean, the Bengals, like you guys said, they got Chase, they got Higbee, they got Boyd. I mean, and then you got Burrow throwing him the rock. Like, he's instantly going to make every receiver on that team better. The Browns, they went out and they signed a few guys. Who they went out and got Amari Cooper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they went out and got Amari Cooper. And added to, they got Peoples Jones who plays for him, and I like him. I think he's solid. The Ravens, they got some young guys coming up, and
Rashad Bateman and Porsche.
Yep, Rashad Bateman and Porsche, and then of course the Steelers got Chase Claypool, who's like delusional about being the best receiver in the league. Like, Jesus,
he's not. He's not even close.
No, and the thing is, he has the skill set. He has the skill set. He had the skill set coming out of college.
He hasn't put it all together.
Nope, hasn't put it all together.
It's up here.
His head is so damn big, he can't even walk through the door.
Yep. Nemo Crenshaw says Bengals, Steelers, Browns, Ravens for now, and don't sleep on Bateman and Porsche. Keegan Eckert says Browns, Bengals, Steelers, Ravens, and I don't agree with that whatsoever because I think the Steelers have the worst wide receiver room in the division.
Yep.
Nemo Crenshaw, Ravens and Browns is real close, but can Cooper stay healthy? That is the biggest question. 3-4 games a year now, too.
And is he going to like it being in the cold?
Don't nobody like the cold, man.
And Keegan Eckert says Claypool is just a TikTok wannabe. I love it.
Oh, yeah, he just does. He just twerks. He just twerks on TikTok a lot. Yeah, for sure.
Now we're to.
I learned from Juju.
Oh, he learned a lot from Juju.
O-lines, and I'm going to start it off. I'm going to still say Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Steelers in that order. Because if that Ravens O-line is healthy and stays healthy, it's the best O-line in that division.
Yeah, kind of hard to argue that one.
I can't even disagree because I agree.
Yeah.
I compared to the Steelers, I love the Browns O-line.
Oh, yeah, Browns got a solid O-line for sure.
And the Steelers O-line is abysmal.
Yeah.
For that division. And that's why they're going to struggle this year. That's why Mitch may struggle this year. Mitch is a good quarterback, but the thing is he was there, at the end of Olin Kreutz into the next one?
Yep.
And Nemo says Raven, Browns, Bengals, Steelers. But with what the Bengals added, I think it made them better than the Browns. That's just my opinion.
We have to see if they can put it all together. I know last year they benefited from injured teams in the North, and they got hot when it mattered, but they got extremely lucky that they didn't get Burrow killed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, between the regular season, he had 55 sacks and 15 more in the postseason for a record-setting 70 sacks in one whole season.
The Bengals coaching staff need to consider themselves lucky that he didn't blow his other knee out.
Well, that one hit in the Super Bowl, I thought Donald did get the other knee.
Yeah, I did too.
Because when he was slow to get up, I was like, "Oh, that ain't good."
My 5-year-old
if he doesn't come back in, if he didn't come back into the room to play the rest of the game, it was going to be the Rams walking all over him.
Oh yeah, heck man, I think if Beckham wouldn't have went down, they may have walked all over him anyway because they couldn't stop both Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham.
Right, they could stop one or the other, not both at the same time.
Yeah, I hate Odell Beckham. I am not a fan of his, but he was he was real. I was real close to making a lot of money that game, but fucking Cooper Cup. But
missing that 100 yards.
yes, fucking, I'm still mad about
93 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm still sick about that, man. Damn asshole.
Well, if he wouldn't have got lit, on the only time Eli Apple actually played defense.
He knows what defense is?
On that screenplay when he blew up Cup, when he dropped it.
Yeah.
Because if Eli would have whiffed on that one, it was over.
Oh, for sure.
It was over. Because there was no one behind.
I think I could do a better job than Eli Apple. And I'm 5'7", fat and slow.
And if you want a good laugh, go watch Benchwarmer Brand's State of the AFC North TikTok. That thing's hilarious.
I know that dude freaking cracks me up, man.
And now we go to the D lines, and the D lines are nasty top to bottom in this thing. I think it's 1A, B, C, D, and you can put it in any order. The Ravens got tight ends. Oh yeah, I forgot tight ends. Mark Andrews is the standard in that division, I think, at the top. Then you got Higbee, you got the guy at Freiermuth, and then who do the Browns got? I forget. Baker Mayfield didn't use. That's what it was.
Okay.
Njoku, isn't that who they got? David Njoku again?
Yep. Ajabo, yeah.
Njoku.
Ajabo went to Ravens.
No, I'm talking about tight ends. I forgot. I started. But it's Njoku, right?
Yeah, Njoku, definitely. I think he's staying in Cleveland.
Yeah, he's staying.
Yeah. Andrews, though, is clearly the best tight end in the North. I mean, there's an argument that he's the best in the league right now. So.
Who, Mark Andrews?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Definitely
Ravens by far, Steelers, Browns, Bengals in that order is what they said. What Nemo says. He's a Ravens fan.
Yeah, Ravens definitely number one.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from that. Mark Andrews is amazing. He's a top 5 tight end in the league. Hands down.
You can make case for him being number 1 if you want. He's got a strong case.
He's got a strong case. With him, Kelsey and Kittle, they're all right there.
Yep. Hopefully Hawkinson will get there. He gets that blocking under.
He's in the top 10. Actually, he does good on blocking in the run game.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's his passing that's up and down when he's forced to pass block.
But they don't usually do that very often, except in a screen pass situation. And he's not horrible. He's just not great at it. But in the run game, he's an extra. In the run game, he's an extra tackle in the game for Hawkinson.
Yeah.
Now we're to the D lines, and my 1A, 1B is Ravens and the Steelers. My 2A, 2B, Bengals and Browns. I don't know how you can lay it down any other than that. I can't rank them 1 through 4 because they're that close of talent level.
Agreed.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, Browns.
And welcome in Mike Crabtree.
What's up, guys? Sorry,
we're just talking about how bad the Ravens are going to be this year.
We've been doing the position rankings. I started out with quarterbacks. Where do you rank the quarterbacks in your division? 1 through 4.
Division, as well as we got overall. I know that.
Yep.
I know the Browns have one defense cornerback who has Joe Burrow's number. We got Marlon Humphreys and Marcus Peters. So I'd rank the Fitzpatrick on the Steelers. I'd rank the DBs in the
No, I'm talking about quarterbacks. Who's
Quarterback.
throwing the ball? 1 through 4.
I'll go number 1, Joe Burrow. Number 2, Lamar. Number 3, I'm going to go Watson for the Browns. And whoever the Steelers quarterback is for, because the Steelers are on downfall and don't have an offense. But Joe Burrow is quarterback.
Unfortunately, it's looking like Deshaun Watson will be suspended for the season, so then it'll be Jacoby Brissett. And at that point, it'll be whoever's for the Steelers, then Jacoby Brissett.
I would put the Steelers quarterback over him if it's going to be.
Yeah, they're already. Deshaun Watson can't even show up to OTAs because of the suspension that's looming. And that's going to suck for them. It's going to be a rough year.
That's going to be a rough year. Do that.
They deserve it. Sorry.
Running back rooms. I had it Browns, Ravens, Ravens, Bengals, Steelers. Because Steelers don't have anything other than Najee Harris that's proven right now.
It's very true.
I mean, Browns got Chubb and Hunt and whoever's behind them. Ravens got Dobbins, Gus Edwards, and Mike Davis.
I would say this. I think Dopkins has a breakout season this year.
If he stays healthy, I agree. He had a great rookie campaign. It was the next year when he didn't even get the chance to take the field. It kind of sucked. I mean, but just like everybody else, when you got to play the AFC or NFC East, that New York stadium has tore up 33 players over 3 years, the new stadium. And they won't have the new turf in until next season. So it's going to be more of the same this season. That scares me more than any of the bottom feeder teams that you could play is that field.
I agree.
And Crazy Ken jumps in, better late than never. Wide receiver rooms, I had it Bengals, Browns, Ravens, Steelers. I got the Steelers at the bottom because they lost talent and really didn't replace it.
I gotta say the Bengals. I got the Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Steelers.
Okay.
I think Bateman's gonna be good. I think, and I really do think, how we're gonna do it. I think Bateman is gonna be our number 1 overall, and I think he's gonna show out that he's better than Hollywood Brown. Now, people always ask me how I feel about Hollywood Brown. I like Hollywood Brown. Yes, he had a lot of drop passes. Yes, he can develop that. Yes, he's got K1 as a quarterback, and they're going to develop. But I think Lamar developed a good receiver. David has good. I'm not going to say he has the best hands in the does it, but I think he is better receiver.
No.
Overall, I believe.
Okay. And then, of course, you have the O-lines, and I said it was Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Steelers in that order there. What do you think?
I would agree, but I'll be honest, because I did this before. I put the Bengals above the Ravens before the draft, before the Ravens got the center. But after the Ravens got the center, I flipped it.
All right. And then now we're all caught up, and we were just talking about D-lines, and I kind of said it's kind of a 1A, 1B, and then 2A, 2B, because there really isn't a bad defensive line group in the whole league, in that whole division. I got it Ravens and Steelers at the top, and then Bengals and Browns in the 2. Because I can't really – they're so close in talent levels.
So that's spot on.
You say that's spot on. Okay. And now we're to the linebacker room. And I'm going to start with you. Where do you rank the linebackers of the division?
I'm going to go the Bengals, the Ravens, the Browns, and the Steelers. Bengals because I'm gonna put this last year and the year before, the whole development of how the Bengals changed their entire linebacker format. Yes, they choked in the Super Bowl and all that, but handed for Bengals. They went 2-14 because of a horrible linebacker. To make all those linebacker changes and get them a pure linebacker to make it to the Super Bowl the next season shows you pure talent they have.
Yep.
Even as a Ravens fan, I can't even hate that. As a Ravens fan, I can't.
All right.
What they made there.
So you got it Bengals, then the Ravens, then the Steelers, then Browns?
Yes.
You know, I'm kind of a toss up there because you do have TJ Watt in the linebacker room up there in the Steelers, so it's so I kind of had it Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Bengals in that order. Bengals got a good linebacker core. There isn't a bad linebacker core. That's my point.
I agree. That's really true. There isn't a bad linebacker core in the AFC North.
AFC North is going to be brutal because you guys have good defenses that play each other twice. But the Browns offense with Jacoby Brissett, if they're not running the ball 4 out of 5 times, they're not getting first downs.
I agree with that big time.
And Nemo Crenshaw agrees. Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, Browns. And Ben Smith says he agrees with Crabtree. And Ben Smith also came in and said, "What's up, JV?" And Keegan Eckert says Steelers, Browns, Bengals, Ravens in the linebacker room. Woo! That's a hot take. Chicken nugget?
Yeah.
What you got for me?
I would like to say Steelers, Bengals, Browns, then Ravens.
Ooh.
I gotta go different with that in order.
Okay. Now we're going to the defensive back rooms, which is cornerbacks and safeties to combine. Defensively, I mean, Eli Apple brings the Bengals one down for me. So, just saying, he's burnt toast. But I think Bengals have the worst 3. I got the Browns. At 2, I got the Steelers. And then I got the Ravens because you guys made some additions this year. At 1.
We got the safety from the Saints and then drafted the best safety from Notre Dame for our secondary to build around that. And they got Mom Humphries and Marcus Peters. Our secondary, I'm not going to lie, is going to be pretty scary this year. So I'm ready to see how that looks.
The only thing that scares me about Marcus Peters is you got the best and the worst in a cornerback at the same time. He's great at getting the interceptions, but he does get interceptions. You know what I'm saying? He gets burnt a lot. He's not burnt toast like Eli Apple burnt toast, but he does get burned a lot on double moves and when he's in press coverage, if a speedy receiver gets by him, it's over.
That I don't like, besides him getting burnt, is if he's in open field, many people don't pay attention to this. He's one of the worst quarterbacks to make open field tackles.
Yeah, he doesn't tackle well. That's what I meant about the double moves. All that gets him. That's why he misses tackles.
I have to agree. Trust me, I have to agree. As a Ravens fan, I'll always agree with that. This is what I've been saying for the last year and a half to Ravens fans, that Marcus Peters has a hard time making tackles in open field on receivers.
Keegan Eckert says Steelers, Ravens, Browns, Bengals. Yes, Browns have Denzel Ward, but who else they got? They drafted a kid, and but they've got some decent safety play. So it's not just corners. You remember, you got to add the safeties in there, and that's why I have the Ravens up as high as I do, because it's Steelers and Ravens at the top.
This package is no joke. I mean,
Ravens probably do have the best secondary for depth in the division. I would say that. That's why I have them up there.
Yeah, the Ravens do have the best secondary right now, if you really want to talk about it.
But until the game's played on the field and we see how it plays out,
well, of course,
that's why all of this is conjecture and what we think right now. There isn't a game been played, but on paper, that's what it looks like.
Of course, we're just talking about
On paper, Steelers got the best secondary in the North. Ravens second, Browns and Bengals.
I would say they're probably top 10, borderline on top 5 for the Ravens, but I can't put them at the top, in my opinion.
They have some good
In the
safeties,
league
and
right now?
they went out and got
In the
Kyle Hamilton too, didn't they?
Yeah, they got Kyle Hamilton. They got
Yeah.
Marcus Williams from New Orleans.
And we all know how the Ravens, man, they know how to develop their safeties. They don't get it much right anywhere else, but that defensive side of the ball, man, they kill it.
Yeah, but
They know how to develop linebackers.
their
and
safeties make the biggest jump in second year out of any of them.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and to piggyback off of, off my man Jake, is that, Kyle Hamilton is going to come in and make an impact right away for their defense. He's going to do some things that people ain't never seen before. Trust me. Watch out. Kyle Hamilton's the real deal.
Yeah, dude. I told Jeremy this just either last week or the week before. Kyle Hamilton's ceiling is Troy Polamalu. That's his ceiling. And I can say, and I will defend it all the way. I mean, he's got the size, he's got the speed, and if they can develop him, watch out, man. He's got great instincts. Kid can play. He's a killer, man.
And he's sideline to sideline defender, not so much because of his speed, because his speed is just average for a safety. It's his length at 6'4" with the big wingspan. That's what makes the difference with him.
Yep. Sure does.
He did run a 4.6. What was it? 4.65, I think it was at the combine. Or 4.62, 4.65, right around there.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
So that's average safety speed. It really is. Your average safety runs 4.6.
Mm-hmm.
Your fast safeties run 4.4, 4.5. There's been a couple burners at 4.3, but most of them were converted corners that were too big to play the position and didn't have great change of direction. Yeah, D'Angelo Hall. Yeah, D'Angelo Hall, I'm calling you out. You got to throw in, Steelers. At the top, I think the best secondaries are Steelers, Philly, Rams. If the Bucks secondary can stay healthy, that's a dangerous secondary. And the Ravens. I mean, there you go. You're looking at that 5-6 area for the Ravens for me in the league.
In the league, I got it. First, I'd have Rams, Niners. I would have the Ravens at 5. I'm not a homer. I'm not going to say the Ravens have the best second. Paper, we have the best secondary. But every time you say paper, there's one thing I remember. Everyone,
Right.
No attack to Browns fans, but when the Browns had O.J., Vandrick, Hunt, Kareem, he had all the big names, had great defense, and everyone kept saying, Super Bowl champs. They didn't make the playoffs. I can't say the Ravens have the best secondary, even if it says happen on the field and throughout the games and throughout. I can't say it as a Ravens fan. I have to see it before, believe it before I go out there and just say. Because if I go and say the Ravens have the best secondary, and then we go 0-7 and get blown out by 35 points almost every game, then how does it look?
Right. And, pass rush makes a lot of it. And Ojabo was a great pickup where you got him in the second round, but it's for the future because he doesn't come back till November or December after that Achilles tear. So, it's really not a pick to help you this season unless you're making a playoff push, which we'll get to that in just a second. Now I'm going to do the AFC North window of wins. And I kind of have the Ravens and Bengals in the same window, 10 to 13 wins. Yeah, I have the floor as 10 wins and the ceiling at that 13 mark because they can be really good or they can be just great. You know what I mean? They're either going to be really good or just at that, really good, almost elite level where they only lose 3 or 4 games. or they're going to be at that just great level of 7 losses. And everybody says, "What do you mean by great?" I said, they got to beat up on each other.
I agree.
Oh, special teams. Yeah, you got Justin Tucker. I forgot about that. Okay, Ravens. Bengals had a good second special teams. Then Browns and Steelers, because I think the Steelers had the lowest field goal percentage out of the 4 last season, and I don't know who they have.
Didn't the Bengals kicker miss 4 field goals versus the Packers in a row?
I don't. I think that had a lot to do with his footing in the cold, because it's just a different animal up there in January at Lambeau.
Oh man, brutal up there.
No, I'm pretty sure. I'm just asking this, but I'm just saying. But didn't the Packers, Mason Crosby, and the Bengals hitter go for a total of
5 missed field goals, 5 or 7 missed field goals between the 2 of them. Yeah,
that's all I was gonna go for. I'm not taking shots at the Bengals. I'm just thinking wasn't there a game that both kickers just had a horrible game?
That was the game. It was that play. It was late in the season. It's cold in Lambeau. Kickers struggle in Lambeau unless they're on the Packers team and used to it.
Yep. Sure do. We see it all the time.
The great Matt Prater and the great Jason Hansen missed field goals there.
Sure did.
Those were 2 very accurate, powerful kickers.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely have to agree there.
Keegan Ecker says, as a Lions fan, we just don't like Justin Tucker. I have to admit he's good, but that was lucky against the Lions.
He did it again.
Hey, like I said, kudos to him for making it. That's all I got to say. I'm going to leave it at that.
He only had to hit it once.
Right.
Look, I'm just going to say this. When Tucker kicked that 66-yard kick and it bounced off the middle up line, I didn't think it went in. And when the ref said good, I started crying. I really thought the Lions won at the time when it was bounced in the middle.
They should have won.
No, I'm not going to get into that. We're not going to do the shoulda, coulda conjecture anymore. What's done is done. We lost by 2.
We did. But
Steelers fans say the Lions should have won when the Lions were tied the Steelers in Pittsburgh. How do you tie a winless team in Pittsburgh?
Yeah. It's not like we were at home and got a tie. We were in Pittsburgh and got a tie. That's all I got to say.
You're right.
And it was a 10-10 tie. That tells you how bad both offenses were doing.
I'll tell you what team's going to surprise in the North. It's going to be the Steelers. I know they don't look too good, that offensive line and all that. They don't look too good. But they got an advantage over every other team in that division, and that's coaching. Tomlin has never had a losing season. They just added Flores to that defensive room. That defense is going to be stout. That offense is going to be a little bit behind. But I tell you what, man, Tomlin, he hasn't had a losing season yet, and I ain't banking on him having one this year. I say they get at least 9 to 10 wins.
Charles McClain is going to go with your statement there. As a Lions fan, Ravens did not win the game. The refs won.
Oh, no, no, I don't blame the refs for shit.
You know what I blame is going to the prevent defense on 4th and 19 after we just sacked Lamar 3 plays in a row.
Yes. And you know what that is? That's a young defensive coordinator.
Yep.
A new defensive coordinator doing that. And nothing against AG. I guarantee you he don't do that shit again.
I mean, we were annihilating you guys trying to come back in that game for those first 3 plays. I mean, what was it? 4th and 19? Correct?
Something like that, yeah.
Because we sacked them for another 7 yards on that shotgun play at 3rd down.
But they lost.
Yep, but they lost. The kick went through. I mean, what else could you say? I mean, that was the biggest because Lions loss I've seen in a long time.
Oh, man. Yeah. Every once in a while, the Lions are going to lion.
Yeah, but what's funny is 3 of our losses that came down to the
Yeah,
exact same score was lost the exact
Watkins.
same way on a kicker's career long.
Yep.
When Watkins caught that pass, I was like, oh, I can't
Yeah.
lie.
I got the Bengals. I can see the Bengals pulling out about 13 wins. And
Keegan Eckert says, man, I like to see the next Ravens versus Lions. It'll be
Like
fun
you
watching
guys-
Hutch get to the alarm. What's that?
Well, I do see the same as you guys. Ravens and Bengals having 10 to 12 wins this season for sure.
oh yeah.
Yep. Jake, where do you rank the window of wins?
I got the Steelers between 9 and 11. I got the Bengals between 10 and 13. The Browns, I got them between without. I mean, I hate Watson, but without Watson, I got them between 7 and 9 wins. And the Ravens are up there with the Bengals. I think I could see them pulling out 12, 13 wins this year if everyone's healthy. That's the main thing. Everyone's got to stay healthy for the Ravens. I don't know what happened last year, but they were plucking running backs off the street.
They were the 3rd most injured team behind us.
Yeah, I know. It was bad for them. So,
I can't believe the Titans pulled off, but it was more because Carson Wentz went Carson Wentz against the Jags on why they won the division, because the Colts were in the catbird seat. All they had to do was win against the Jags.
Yep. And they can't. And the thing is, they
cannot win in Jacksonville.
I got a buddy who's a Colts fan, and this is like the 4th straight time they've had to face them for playoffs and lost.
Right. They are
Like,
0-4 in Jacksonville versus Jacksonville.
It's hard to win in Jacksonville, though, man. Like, Jacksonville, like, the team might not be all that great, but going down there in that heat and the way they have their stadium set up, they make you wear your away jerseys. So you're wearing the darker clothes. You're sweating your ass off. And then if you got a team, like Indianapolis, they play in a dome. It's controlled, Even if they played outside, you're still in Indiana. You're not in Florida. You're not used to that heat down there. And that heat, man, it's like going up to Lambeau. It's like going and playing Lambeau in the wintertime. That weather's a bitch.
Yep. All right. Mike, where do you have the windows of wins for each team in the North there?
I got the Ravens at 10 and 12. I got the Steelers at 10. I got Steelers at 10 or 12 too. I got the Bengals at 11 to 13, and I got the Browns probably because they're gonna have that horrible quarterback at 5 to 7 wins. Because you gotta remember, they're gonna have a horrible quarterback. They're gonna be playing the AFC North. The AFC North has defenses that tear apart horrible quarterbacks. We gotta sit back and not say
that's where I'm at, because they're going to struggle to score points on offense because they got a horrible QB that's starting for them as of right now with Jacoby Brissett. So that being said, I got the Browns at 4 to 7 wins. I got the Steelers at 8 to 10, and I got the Ravens and Bengals both at 10 to 13. I don't know who's going to get which. I don't know who's going to come out top, but I think the race is between the Ravens and the Bengals.
I can agree. I definitely agree with that.
That being said, it's time for me to pay some bills here real quick and talk about my sponsors. A1 Tire and Auto Repair. 3 locations to serve you. You got the one in Saginaw and Genesee, the one where I work in Bay City on Broadway, and you also have the one on Old Cullin to serve you in Cullin. And also, don't forget to check out Mad Lab Custom Creations on Facebook. That's ran by Dan Lenner. He does wonderful jobs with custom mini helmets or anything you want to have painted with something custom. As far as signed memorabilia, he's the guy to do it. He will do it without messing up your signature on your signed merchandise.
You all done, Bubba?
And Charles McLean says Steelers will surprise unless Mitch starts. I see 4 to 8 wins with Mitch. Without Mitch, I see 10 to 11 wins. I disagree with that completely because if they don't use Mitch, guess who they're using?
Mason
They are
Rudolph.
they're using Kenny
Oh, yeah,
Pickett.
Kenny Pickett.
Right now, Mason Rudolph is the QB3 for him.
Yeah, I forgot they got baby hands Pickett.
I'll be honest with you. I think Kyle Pickett's going to be a bust.
You think Pickett's going to be a bust?
He's good stuff in college and all that, but I'll be honest with you, I do not see him formatting it, bro. I'm not trying to take shots at Steelers or anything. I just don't see. I said this before he was even drafted. I think Kyle Pickett's going to be the bust of the whole entire draft. I think he'll be the bust.
Well, with it being a 3rd round pick, and it's already been announced that Malik Willis is the QB3 on the board. Oof is all I got to say in Tennessee.
All I got to say is I am glad Detroit did not draft Malik Willis at number 2. I hollered about that crap all off season long, and I told them he is not worth the number 2 pick. And like, oh, he's the best quarterback in this draft. Yeah,
Nope.
Okay, sure thing, buddy.
Nope. As far as results, the best QB in that draft was Desmond Ridder.
Yeah.
As far as overall QB play, if he wouldn't have got hurt, it was Matt Corral.
Yeah,
and then it was Kenny Pickett. Then it was Carson Strong, Sam Howell. I have them on the same level. Carson Strong, the only reason why I dropped him down to that, if he didn't have 5 knee surgeries in college, he probably would have been higher up on the QB list because he has a huge arm and he's relatively accurate. And then Sam Howell, he was. I love Desmond Ridder. I was like, if I'm going to take an athletic quarterback, Ritter's the guy I'd have went for, but I wouldn't have picked him at 2.
No, like if they were going to take a quarterback, I wanted it to be at 32, and I wanted it to be either Corral or I wanted it to be Desmond Ridder. Those were the only 2 quarterbacks I would have wanted in Detroit out of this draft. And even then, like this last draft was so bad with quarterbacks. I mean, Jesus. I mean, really all across the board, nobody stood out. And
I do forget. Where did Howell go? Was he the one that was picked up by the Eagles as a UDFA?
I think he was picked up by the Commanders.
Or the Commanders. Yeah, he went to the Commanders late, like in the 5th round.
But honestly, I think Pickett is bound to be a bust, man. Pickett and Willis are definitely going to be a bust.
And Facebook user, I do believe this is Joseph Ho, says, how's it going, Smokin' Jeremy? Hope your week is going good for you. Go Lions.
Well,
and
can Willis really be a bust, though? I mean, he wasn't. I usually consider bust as like, first rounds when it comes to quarterbacks.
If he never sniffs the field at the end of Tannehill's tenure, he's a bust.
I can get behind that.
They said he was going to need 2 to 3 years to develop, and as soon as I heard that, I said that's a 3rd round pick. I mean, as soon as I heard that from the guys at the combine that were the prognosticators when they were talking to him, he had the biggest arm and the most mobility, but he had the accuracy of a global thermonuclear weapon. He can throw it 70 yards, but it might kill something 150 yards away. I'm just saying. If you can throw it through a brick wall, but you can't hit anything past 5 yards, you're not a good quarterback. That being said, now we're to the state of your team. And since Mike's on here and he's a Ravens fan, what do you think of the state of your franchise?
I think my franchise for the 25 years and all that, I think our franchise has developed very well over the years. It became a great dynasty on how we built over defenses, had great Hall of Famers, and I feel like the Ravens are one of the best established teams in the NFL.
Okay. And now who wants to take on I'm going to toss it out there. Who wants to take on the Brown state of the franchise?
The Browns say the franchise is going to be near the
I can
franchise.
do it.
You can do it? Okay, Jake, take it.
The state of their franchise is a freaking dumpster fire. They spit in Baker Mayfield's face, traded him away, disrespected the crap out of him, went and got Deshaun Watson, who probably ain't even going to play this year. You're stuck with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. I mean, the coach Stefanski, he's a freaking moron. He needs to give up his play calling, and they need to get rid of that defensive coordinator because his play calling is just as bad as Stefanski's. I mean, from top to bottom, man. And not to mention, here's the cream. Here's why they have probably the worst franchise over there. They have Bob Quinn working in their front office, and any team
you go there.
if any team hires Bob Quinn, you need to take yourself outside, shoot yourself in the head. Whoever hired that guy needs to fire himself.
I will say Bob Quinn, the only thing he was good at was evaluating O-line talent.
Yes, that's it.
Other than that, it's abysmal.
The Browns deserve everything they get right now.
But Charles McLean says the QB I want the Lions to take next year is the one from Coastal Carolina. Keegan Ecker says, honestly, Pickett is learning from Mike Tomlin. If Mike can make something out of Pickett, Pickett will be good. Possibly. But you have to remember he has micro baby hands that has to wear a glove to throw a football.
And you have to remember this. Tomlin has never had to develop a young quarterback.
Yep.
He never developed a young quarterback. He came in with Ben Roethlisberger ready to go.
And the only thing the Browns have that is good is Cooper, Hunt, and Chubb, and it's if Cooper is healthy.
Yeah.
Cooper's decent, to be honest with you.
He is decent.
We got better receivers like CeeDee Lamb and all of them are a lot better than Cooper will be. Cooper's good, but he's
been up and down a lot.
And great question from Charles McLean. Can the Lions send the Browns the Lions TB12? On the first thing, for a pack of fucking smokes and a fountain pop, I'd be good.
Right? Yeah.
All right. And then Chicken Nugget, state of the Steelers. You there? Uh-oh. I think he froze up. All right. State of the Steelers. I say the Steelers themselves are another well-run franchise overall. They've had a couple misses here and there with O-line and everything else. That being said, they are one of the best ran franchises in history. They're up there with some of the most Super Bowls, with 6 along with New England. Tomlin has yet to have a losing season, but this may be the year because I only see him getting about 8 wins. Oh, there's Chicken Nugget. Do you disagree with anything I just said?
I was just trying to fix the StreamYard, but yeah. What was it again?
State of the Steelers franchise. I said they're one of the best ran organizations in all of football.
Agreed. They are. Mike Tomlin hasn't had a losing season, just like Jake said. This is his first time developing a young quarterback in Pickett. So I think that with their defense and their special teams, they'll probably hold up. It's just their offense is going to get in the way, in certain games. And they did rename their stadium from Heinz Field to some other name that they picked up from Michigan. So, I mean, the Pittsburgh Pirates, not the Pirates. I can't go there about my Pirates because my Pirates are way different than the Steelers.
Yeah, that's right. I wasn't going to talk about that.
But yeah, other than that,
they're a minor league team, right?
You know what? Don't start right now. Don't start right now. It's heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking.
Anyways,
team here.
Being the Steelers, I think the Steelers are gonna, pick up themselves and try to get 8-9 wins this season. But their worst case scenario is ending up having 6, depending on how they go.
I can agree with that. And then I'm going to take on the Bengals. The Bengals are slowly becoming a powerhouse in the league. If they can maintain their structure this year, I see them winning the division again. I think it's a 2-horse race between the Bengals and Ravens because the Steelers and Browns are in a slight version of disarray.
But
I'm gonna say the one thing
don't
for
count the Steelers out.
I'm not
The
counting
Bengals-
them out. I'm just saying they're in a slight case of disarray.
Never count out the Steelers. Never do that.
you can't
As soon
count
as
out
you do, that's when they win the division.
You guys think the Bengals win their division? Joseph Host? I think it's between the Bengals and Ravens. I can't tell you who's going to get more wins. I got both of them at that 10 to 13 win mark.
I think
I
a
think-
healthy Ravens team wins it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Healthy Ravens team.
Absolutely.
I think the Bengals, they benefited greatly from the injuries from the Ravens last year, and they can't seem to beat the Browns.
and it was renamed to
So-
Aristotle Field, but it sounds like Aristocrat Field.
To be honest with you, I'm always going to call the Steelers Heinz Field because Pittsburgh
Yeah.
deserves that. I can't go anywhere else while calling the Steelers Field Heinz Field.
Right.
That's
I agree.
disrespect. With James Harrison, Troy Polamalu, the steel curtain, and all that there, I can't rename it. It's Heinz Field no matter what.
Yep, I agree. It's always going to be Heinz Field to me. That being said, we're into the NFL news and rumors part of the show. This is where we get to talk about all things, every team. The big thing that happened over the past week, Baker Mayfield to the Carolina Panthers for a snack-sized bag of chips.
You know, and I think the biggest NFL news has got to be my boy up there in New York, Zach Wilson.
What happened with him now? Oh, yeah, about the mom thing. Yes.
His best friend's mom, or his mom's best friend. Something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Oh, yeah.
So let me get this straight. He's a mother.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
And
that
Okay.
word.
You guys
Hey.
think? You think because Kamara suspended for 2 entire seasons? You think the same
Well,
offense
Goodell is the one.
gonna be?
The Goodell is the one that's pushing that for 2 seasons. I mean, there was an interview about it, but it's going to be a minimum of 6 games he misses. Whether it's 2 years, whether it's 6 games, that's going to hurt the Saints program because if he misses 6 games, they're going to have one hell of a slow start because they got washed up Mark Ingram now as their wide running back 1.
Yep.
Mark Ingram is a shell of what he was when he came into the league and when he got to the Ravens even.
How about Jimmy Garoppolo? Where's he end up? Does he stay in San Fran? Or do they ship him?
I think the reason why they haven't sent him there is because the reason why they haven't traded him yet is they want to see how Trey Lance does to start the season. If Trey Lance struggles by week 4, you may see Jimmy G coming in at week 5. Because the one thing Jimmy G does, as bad as 49ers fans make him out to be, they win games with him starting at quarterback. They win 80% of their games.
Yeah, Trey Lance apparently he gets a little bit of arm fatigue.
Yes, he does.
He's
That's
not very
another reason why.
accurate.
And that is why they're keeping him. Because remember when he came out, they said the same thing about him. He's raw and needs 2 to 3 years to develop. Well, this is year 2, so I know they want to see him on the field because he's way more athletic and way more durable than what they've had.
Yeah, I mean, Garoppolo
And-
can't stay healthy.
And then let's not forget also, N'Keal Harry was traded to the Bears. Why? Because Pringle and Moore are in legal issues and are probably going to miss significant time due to suspension.
Moore might end up going to prison.
Right, because there was
He
a
got caught with drugs and a gun.
gun. Right, trying to take
So
it
he might be
through.
looking-
Trying to take it through the airport. What a moron!
Yeah. So
And when Harry is going to be there unhappy in Chicago, leaving a team and a QB who get him the ball, going to a team and a QB who cannot get them to the ball. Absolutely.
he already struggles with separation. He's slow, can't separate. The only thing he can do is
Is
block.
contested catch and block.
Yeah, but when you're slow, everything's a contested catch.
I know.
Same thing with Galladay.
And Daniel Sims comes in and says, why they change it from ketchup field to
what just
Michigan field.
What had happened?
And Facebook user, which I believe this is Joseph O, says, I think the Steelers and Brownies will tie for last place in the division. I can't say the Steelers will fall that far, but I will say the Brownies more than likely are fourth place in the division.
I'm a Ravens fan. Pittsburgh won't fall in last place. The Browns will. Mike Tomlin ain't gonna fall in last place, and the Browns have a horrible quarterback situation right now.
Yes, they
Browns,
do.
look,
And now, what you know what will really suck for the Browns is if Deshaun Watson gets the indefinite suspension.
here's the thing I'm gonna say.
If he gets the indefinite suspension, it'll be bad. Facebook user asks, who has the best D, Bengals or Ravens? It's kind of a toss-up. Where the one's great at, the other one's good at. Where the other one's great at, the other one's good at. It goes back and forth through the three levels of defense.
I was gonna say it's pretty thin, and I can't be a homer and say the Ravens have this because the Bengals have that on the second part on certain things. So I'm gonna say between the Bengals and Ravens, I'm gonna give the edge to the Bengals for last year's sweep against us. I'll give the Bengals a better defensive for now, but come to the season, I'll have to see.
And Keegan Eckert says Gronk retired and Brady is next to go for good. When he did that last year, that was just because he wanted everyone talking about him. And once the talking stopped, he returned. Actually, he returned right after the roster bonus that he'd have got, which would have left him in cap hell. He returned after that cleared where he wasn't on the roster at that time. That's what it was about, because they wouldn't have been able to afford to re-sign Evans and Goodwin and keep that wide receiver core together. Proving
Brady
once
just
again
needed a
that
vacation.
Brady is a team player.
Oh yeah, like you can say what you want about that guy. You know, I've said this for a while now. What makes Brady the GOAT is not his athletic ability. I mean, the guy is, if he was 2 inches shorter, he'd be an accountant. Okay. He's got a nice arm. He's got a quick release, but it's what he has between the shoulders, between the ears, that makes him the GOAT, and his leadership. He will outthink you. And that's just what he does. It's what he's always done.
Which coincidentally, Charles McClain, Brady returned when they changed head coach, was exactly 2 days after the roster bonus would have been issued. Everything happened at that timing for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, were him and Arians really butting heads like that?
Yeah.
I knew they butted heads, man. Arians is kind of a prick.
Yes, he is.
So
the rookie training camp, Joseph Host, is 10 days from now on the 23rd. The vets camp is on the 28th or 9th, and then the full team the week following. And what I'm looking forward to is August 9th at 10 p.m. I will be watching the premiere of Hard Knocks on HBO.
Oh, yes. You watch Dan Campbell's Emmy-winning performance? You know he's going to win an Emmy for that, man. You think his press conferences are good? Wait till dude, I would love to be out there on the field all day and just listen to what he had to say. Because you know those players got a hard time keeping a straight face.
Brady got mad, I believe, at Arians over the Brown situation. No, there was way more on why Arians had to step down. There was some issues that came up. And it was more than just that. There was a lot to it. And I can't really get into it without looking at the article again. So I don't want to be just putting conjecture and opinion on it. I want to be doing facts, because it's not my team and I'm not going to alienate another team. And Charles McClain says it's Campbell and Jamal Williams for me. Yeah, Swaggy's going to be cutting it up on the camera. You know that.
Oh yeah. Dude, he loves the camera and the camera loves him. So I want to see Hutch. I want to see how he does. I want to see how he is.
All I know
So-
is he's been getting mentored by Charles Harris with the team, because Charles Harris really embraced the playbook and started to play really well at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of taken Hutch under his wing, because he's going to be that rush DN type thing.
Yeah. What about Trinity Benson getting snubbed again by Jared Goff?
Because
he had
personal.
the receivers out. What's that?
Because Trinity Benson and Jared Goff ain't seeing eye to eye.
Right. It's both of them together.
Yeah, it's got to be. But you want to know what? He's gonna be. I had him earlier. I had him pegged for being like the last wide receiver on the team to make the team.
He might be the cut.
Anymore. I think he's the cut.
He's probably the cut,
So,
which will leave Raymond on the team, and that's going to piss me off. But anyway,
Khalif Raymond didn't do too bad last year. When his number was called, he answered it. You know,
Oh, no.
I mean,
he had
and
some
Charles
moments
McClain gives the best comment yet about Hard Knocks. I just want to see Goff's girlfriend. Yes. Yes. I am buying that swimsuit issue when it comes out.
I don't know
hear that,
what in the world to tell
Giselle-
you guys.
You guys know Giselle, Tom Brady's wife, is friends with Zach Wilson's mom, right?
Oh, yeah. Moms.
Brady better watch out. Well, the only guy that still is not at full strength yet, Okuda is on the verge. They're saying he'll be ready by the vets training camp on the 28th. So he'll be back doing team play then. Is Romeo Aquara. He's the only one that really isn't healthy out of the vets.
I hate to say it, man. If he can't play this season healthy, you got to let him go.
Yeah, because it'll actually save money.
Yeah, you got to let him go. I mean, when you look at it, when you look at Okora's body of work, his entire career, I mean, he was very, very inconsistent in New York. He came to Detroit, and he had an okay season, and then he had that 10-sack season, which he should have had 14, but he had the tendency to overrun the quarterback.
Yep, he overruns the QB, and he overruns running backs that get around the edge too.
Yeah. Everybody looks at the sack numbers, and it's more than that. Like, you can go out, it don't matter. You go out there and get 100 sacks if you can't do anything else right.
And Steve Bauer is going to reiterate something we've said all offseason. Charles McClain, if Goff has a real good season, I think he could very well. I don't think they will need a QB. We will still need a QB because we're going to need a backup.
Yeah, definitely.
But if he has a great season, I see us picking one in the 3rd or 4th round, a developmental quarterback that could have a chance to push Goff in year 2.
Yeah, that I can see. But
wide receiver for the Lions will be Williams, Reynolds, Cephas, Shark. You left off St. Brown.
Yeah. I can tell you right now.
I think St. Brown and Cephas are making a case to be above Reynolds right now.
Yeah. I say right now it's going to be chart number 1. They're going to have it's either going to be St. Brown or Cephas at number 2. And if that's the case on the outside, I'd rather have Cephas than St. Brown. Keep St. Brown in the slot where he does work. Then it'll be Reynolds at number 4. Khalif Raymond at probably at number 5. And
maybe Khalil Pimpleton to help with the return game.
Yeah, maybe Pimpleton. But the thing is with Pimpleton is he's the exact same player as Raymond. They do the same thing. They're the same size. They play the same positions. So Pimpleton, if it was last year, I'd say he makes the team.
Right.
But I don't see 2 UDFAs making the team. Heck, the Lions may roll with 5.
I know. Yeah, I think we're going to roll with 6 and have the 2 returners out of the wide receiver room. The guy I hope they cut, along with Benson, is Godwin Igwebuike.
Yeah, I could see him. Getting cut.
Because
the only thing he brings, he fumbles.
Yep. The only thing he does well is punt return.
Yeah.
And if Khalil Pimpleton's good at the punt return, we don't need him.
Right. And that's about the only thing. Like that was his edge on Craig Reynolds.
And I've heard very little but good things about Corey Sutton, the kid out of Appalachian State.
Yeah,
he's a big contested catch guy who's a little quicker than they thought he'd be.
Yeah, definitely a good contested catch guy. I mean, if you watch this tape at Appalachian State, I did a whole video. I did a video on Sutton.
Yeah, he's actually good.
Yeah, he's decent, man. He's got some hands, got some good hands
And
when he uses his hands.
Hopefully our O-line
use his body.
Yep. Hopefully our O-line can play a full season. That would be great for our running game. Absolutely. And Charles McClain has said something I said all season: cut Brockers and bring back Sue.
Look,
we have
I'm
9
good
million.
with Brockers as long as they don't play him at the nose.
Right. He's not a nose. He can be a DT2 in a 4-3 in a 4-man front format. Because that's where he kind of excelled when they moved Aaron Donald inside and he lined up next to him in that 4-3 front that they would run out there.
I don't see them cutting Brockers because of the leadership that he brings to that young defensive line and the way he just has been talking up Campbell, talking up that team. He really helps them. These guys coming in, he really helps them buy into the system. And you need a guy like
that. Sue is who we're talking about.
Sue don't want to be in Detroit. He didn't want to be in Detroit when he got drafted here.
Wait. You did not hear the interview that he had in the offseason and he's still a free agent? Dan Campbell was one of his favorite coaches he ever played for.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think Campbell would be enough to bring him to Detroit. I think I just think he hates Detroit.
That and the fact he still owns rental properties here and he comes back here all the time. He is also a part owner of Calvin Johnson's medical marijuana place.
That I didn't know.
So he has businesses here. For somebody that hates it here, why does he have businesses here?
That I didn't know.
Charles McClain says, Hutch, Sue, Pascal, the Rogers nightmare. You put that with Aline McNeil in there and Levi Onwuzurike and Charles Harris, who had 2 sacks.
Pascal's not a sack guy, though. He's a run stuffer.
He also gets sacks, too.
Yeah, but he don't put them out like the rest of the guys do. I think he had what, like 4.5 sacks last year in college.
He had 4.5. But that was an injury-shortened season too.
Right, but I'm thinking he never really had any more than that his college career. Like he's not going to be the guy to go out and get you 10 double-digit sacks. 7 is probably the most he'll get in a season.
Right. That being said, I want to see James Mitchell end up getting some playing time, but we have Funches now. We have Funches now because James Mitchell won't be back in time to start the season. He's still recovering from his ACL tear. Josh Pascal, we may not see him till week 3 or 4 or 5 because he's dealing with his his groin injuries that goes into the leg, and I'm hearing it's a sports hernia, which is what they usually say. When they say groin injury, it's 9 times out of 10 a sports hernia.
Yep.
Right, money. Sue might want to play for a Super Bowl contender. And Charles McClain says, didn't Sue sign with the Rams when Holm was in front office of the Rams? Yes, he did.
Yep, he did.
I'm just saying there's some connection there. Now, which he had a disconnect with Caldwell because that defense was changing before his eyes.
Yeah.
There was a lot more to it than just Sue wanted out. Oh, Mike Crabtree's back. There he is. I seen you pop off. You have a Wi-Fi issue, bud?
Sorry, my Wi-Fi went out. My bad.
I thought so. That's what I figured. That being said, we've been on for a little over an hour. I appreciate all my guests. I love talking football. Mike, you're more than welcome to come on anytime you want to. If you want to come in on one of my Friday night roundtable chats where we talk mostly Lions and some NFL, you're more than welcome to. Cass, you're always welcome. And Jake, you are too. That being said, I'm hoping to get Russell Wayne and a couple others. I want to kind of have a full panel.
Yes, sir.
Keegan Eckert said, I can't wait for fans to say you got sued. And Joseph O's comes in and said, it would be great if we could get sued. Great show tonight, Jeremy. Go Lions. Thank you very much. This has been Kneecap Biting with Smokin' Jeremy V. Make sure you check out Chicken Nugget King 586 channel on YouTube. Roar with Jake D on YouTube. And Mike, like I said, anytime you want to come on one of my shows on Fridays, you're more than welcome to. Next Wednesday, it's time to talk about our favorite division to hate our rivals in, the NFC North. We got the Boo Bears, the Vikings, the Pack-Tards, and the Lions. That being said, don't forget, every day, try to be better version of yourself than you were the day before, because that is the only way we are going to make this world a better place. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. I am still at 122 subscribers, which that amazes me after 6 months. Have a great day, and thank you.